Right now, sitting quietly in your kitchen pantry or your bathroom cabinet is a handful of everyday items that could save you hundreds of dollars and completely change the health of your plants this season. Most households throw away or overlook these exact things every single day, completely unaware that the global agricultural industry uses complex, expensive chemical versions of these very same simple compounds. If you have ever walked into a garden center and felt overwhelmed by the rows of plastic bottles, the warning labels, and the skyrocketing prices of fertilizers and sprays, you are not alone. Almost every home gardener and small-scale farmer makes the mistake of thinking that healthier plants require a bigger budget and a shelf full of synthetic chemicals. The truth is that nature has already provided everything you need to grow thriving, lush, deep green crops, and most of it is currently sitting right next to your kitchen sink or tucked away in a medicine bottle that cost less than $2. It is incredibly beautiful how a shared love for the soil brings people together, and that is why I am so grateful you are spending part of your day here with me. If you want to discover how to unlock the hidden potential of your household items and cultivate a thriving garden without spending a fortune, please take a moment to subscribe and join our growing family. Before we dive into our first remedy, I would love for you to drop your location down in the comments. Whether you are growing food in a bustling city apartment, a quiet rural village, a suburban backyard, or a sprawling multi-acre district, we have an incredible community of growers from every single corner of the globe who watch these videos, and knowing exactly where you are tending your soil helps me understand the unique climates and conditions you are facing every day. It really is a beautiful thing to see a worldwide map of passionate people growing their own food, so please share your home base with us while we get into these life-changing tips. Let us start with that brown bottle sitting in your medicine cabinet right now, which is ordinary 3% hydrogen peroxide. The garden chemical industry is absolutely terrified that everyday households and small-scale farmers are going to figure out what this inexpensive liquid does to a plant's root system. When soil gets compacted from heavy rains or overwatering, it becomes oxygen depleted and starts to smell sour, creating a dark, suffocating environment where destructive root rot pathogens thrive. Hydrogen peroxide works because its chemical structure is highly unstable, meaning that the moment it contacts organic matter in the dirt, it breaks apart and releases a massive surge of free oxygen. This rapid oxygenation destroys the cellular walls of harmful anaerobic bacteria on contact, while simultaneously giving suffocating, mushy brown roots a literal breath of fresh air. To prepare this rescue drench, you simply take 1 tablespoon of standard 3% hydrogen peroxide from the drugstore and dissolve it into 1 cup of warm water. For a home gardener with a few backyard beds or balcony pots, you can scale this up to 2 tablespoons per gallon of water and pour it slowly around the base of your wilting plants, making sure it penetrates deeply into the earth. If you are a small-scale farmer dealing with a larger field plot, you can mix this up in a clean backpack sprayer or irrigation tank at the same ratio to treat entire rows of stressed crops. The best time to apply this is in the cool early morning or late evening, and you should only use it as a supplemental treatment once a week when the soil feels excessively wet, giving the roots enough time to recover and put out new, bright white growth. But here is where it gets really interesting, because that very same bottle of hydrogen peroxide can completely eliminate the headache of fungus gnats and aphids without a single drop of toxic pesticide. Those annoying little black flies hovering lazily around your seed trays are not just a nuisance. Their microscopic larvae live in the top 2 inches of moist soil, constantly chewing on the delicate root hairs of your young seedlings. By mixing a slightly stronger solution of 1 tablespoon of 3% peroxide per cup of water and drenching the top layer of your soil, you will actually hear a gentle fizzing sound as the liquid hits the organic matter. Those microscopic oxygen bubbles are completely lethal to the soft-bodied gnat larvae, but perfectly safe for your plants, breaking down within a few hours into nothing but pure water and oxygen. If you are dealing with aphids or spider mites clustering under the deep green leaves of your mature plants, You can shift to a lighter foliar spray by mixing 2 teaspoons of peroxide per cup of water in a clean spray bottle. Home gardeners can easily mist their container plants by hand, while farmers can utilize a tractor-mounted or manual pressure sprayer to coat the undersides of leaves across a larger crop canopy. Always apply this foliar mist in the early morning or evening to prevent the midday sun from evaporating the solution too quickly, repeating the process twice over a 3-day period to completely disrupt the insect life cycle without leaving any chemical residue on your harvest. Your grandmother probably knew this next one, but somehow it got forgotten along the way, and it involves the humble box of baking soda sitting in the back of your kitchen pantry. Baking soda, or sodium bicarbonate, is a natural, non-toxic alkaline powder that is highly effective at stopping devastating fungal leaf spots and powdery mildew right in their tracks. Fungal spores love a slightly acidic environment on the surface of a leaf, and when the morning dew settles, they quickly anchor themselves and begin to spread, turning beautiful green foliage into a dry, spotted, yellowing mess. When you spray a baking soda solution onto your plants, it instantly raises the pH level on the leaf surface, creating a highly alkaline environment where fungal spores cannot physically survive or replicate. To create this powerful protective shield, mix 1 tablespoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of mild liquid dish soap into 1 gallon of clean water. The soap is absolutely critical because it acts as a surfactant, helping the mixture spread evenly and stick to the slick, waxy surface of the leaves instead of just rolling off onto the ground. Home gardeners can use a small hand pump sprayer to thoroughly coat their tomato plants, roses, or squash leaves, while medium-scale farmers can scale this recipe up for their commercial spray equipment to protect an entire acre of susceptible crops. For the absolute best results, spray your plants thoroughly once every 10 to 14 days during warm, humid weather when fungal diseases are most active, ensuring you apply it early in the morning so the leaves have time to dry completely before the intense afternoon heat hits. Most people throw this next item away without realizing what it can do for their soil, and I am talking about the morning coffee grounds left over in your coffee maker. Instead of dumping those rich, dark grounds into the trash can, you should be treating them like absolute gold for your kitchen garden or small farm. Coffee grounds are packed full of nitrogen, potassium, and magnesium, which are the exact essential nutrients that plants need to develop robust root systems and vibrant foliage. Furthermore, as coffee grounds slowly decompose in the dirt, they break down the compacted structure of the earth, allowing water to soak in with a beautiful, deep gushing sound and improving aeration around the roots. To use this effectively, you do not need any complex preparation. Simply spread the used coffee grounds out on an old newspaper to let them dry completely so they do not clump together or mold. Home gardeners can gently scratch a thin layer of these dry grounds directly into the top inch of soil around nitrogen-loving plants like leafy greens, blueberries, and citrus trees. For small-scale farmers, coffee grounds can be thin spread across wide planting rows or layered directly into large compost piles to supercharge the nutrient profile of the organic matter. It is best to apply this natural soil amendment once a month during the active spring and summer growing seasons, working it into the earth right before a gentle rain or a scheduled watering so the nutrients can begin washing down into the root zone immediately. But what if you are dealing with heavy, stubborn clay soil that feels like brick, or a sudden infestation of soft-bodied slugs that are eating your crisp lettuce leaves overnight? The perfect household solution is hiding right in your breakfast routine, in the form of leftover eggshells. Eggshells are composed almost entirely of calcium carbonate, which is a vital nutrient that strengthens plant cell walls, prevents blossom end rot in tomatoes, and naturally neutralizes overly acidic soils over time. Additionally, when eggshells are coarsely crushed, their sharp, jagged edges act like a microscopic barrier that crawling pests simply refuse to cross, saving your crops from being shredded. To prepare this remedy, rinse your empty eggshells thoroughly with water to remove any remaining albumin. Let them air dry on your windowsill until they are completely brittle, and then crush them into small pieces, using a rolling pin or a kitchen blender. Home gardeners can scatter a thick, protective ring of these sharp shells directly around the base of vulnerable container plants and raised beds. Farmers can crush them on a larger scale and broadcast them across entire planting furrows, using a fertilizer spreader to steadily build up long-term calcium levels in the field. This can be done at the very beginning of the planting season when you are preparing your beds, or applied continuously throughout the year. Whenever you have extra shells available, as they slowly dissolve into the earth with every single rainfall, most people are shocked to learn that the ordinary white vinegar sitting next to their salad dressings can be turned into a highly effective, completely natural weed clearer. Standard household white vinegar contains about 5% acetic acid, which acts as a powerful desiccant when sprayed directly onto unwanted vegetation. When the acetic acid hits the green leaves of a weed, it immediately strips away the protective, waxy outer coating, causing the plant to rapidly lose moisture, wilt, and dry out until it turns a brittle brown within a matter of hours. To maximize the strength of this household herbicide, mix 1 quart of white vinegar with 2 tablespoons of common table salt and 1 teaspoon of liquid dish soap. The salt draws additional moisture out of the weed's root system, while the soap ensures the liquid clings tightly to the stubborn leaves. Home gardeners can carefully spot-treat invasive weeds growing in the cracks of their walkways, patio stones, or along garden borders using a small spray bottle, taking extra care not to get any on their prized vegetables. Small farmers can utilize a targeted backpack sprayer to clear out weeds along fence lines, greenhouse edges, and gravel access roads without introducing persistent synthetic toxins into their farm ecosystem. This remedy works best when applied during the absolute hottest part of a bright, sunny day, as the intense midday sun works in tandem with the vinegar to scorch the unwanted plants rapidly. There is another incredible treasure hiding right in your fireplace or backyard fire pit, and that is clean, gray wood ash. For centuries, traditional farmers and wise old gardeners have used wood ash as a completely free way to boost the potassium and lime levels in their soil, which encourages prolific flowering and heavy fruit production. Potassium is the specific nutrient responsible for regulating a plant's water balance and helping it survive harsh winter frosts or intense summer droughts, while the natural carbonates in the ash help sweeten sour, highly acidic soils. To use this household byproduct safely, wait until the ashes are completely cold, sift through them to remove any large pieces of unburnt charcoal, and store them in a dry bucket. Home gardeners can lightly dust a handful of wood ash around potassium-loving crops, like tomatoes, potatoes, berries, and fruit trees, gently raking it into the soil surface. Small to medium-scale farmers can load dry wood ash into their lime spreaders to adjust the pH levels of entire fields that have become too acidic over years of cultivation. It is important to apply wood ash sparingly, typically just once a year in the late autumn or early spring before planting, and you should always avoid using it around acid-loving plants like blueberries or azaleas, as it will raise the pH too high for their specific needs. If you are fighting a tough battle against persistent fungal diseases or stubborn insects, the absolute ultimate weapon might actually be sitting in your bathroom cupboard in the form of raw organic honey. Honey has been revered for thousands of years not just as a sweet treat, but as a potent natural antiseptic, antibacterial, and antifungal agent due to its unique enzymes and low moisture content. When you dissolve honey into warm water and apply it to your garden, it forms a protective, healing barrier over damaged plant tissue, preventing airborne spores from entering fresh pruning cuts while simultaneously discouraging destructive pests from feeding on the leaves. To make this luxurious yet affordable plant tonic, dissolve 2 tablespoons of raw honey into 1 cup of warm water, and then stir that mixture into a full gallon of filtered water. Home gardeners can use this sweet solution to gently wipe down the dusty leaves of their indoor houseplants, or mist their outdoor vegetable crops using a hand sprayer, which also has the incredible bonus of attracting beneficial pollinators like bees to the area. Farmers can mix this in larger quantities to spray over entire orchards or flowering crop fields right after a heavy pruning session to stimulate rapid healing and protect open plant wounds from environmental pathogens. The ideal time to apply a honey foliar spray is during the calm evening hours when the sun is low, repeating the treatment once every 2 to 3 weeks to maintain a healthy, vibrant sheen on your foliage. It is truly remarkable how much abundance and health we can create in our growing spaces when we look at our everyday household items through the eyes of a chemist and a traditional grower. Thank you so much for walking this path with me today and for allowing me to share these deeply practical, time-tested remedies with you. If these simple secrets have inspired you to look at your kitchen pantry in a completely new light, please consider subscribing to the channel as a heartfelt thank you for the time we spend together every week. I absolutely love reading through your comments, so please do not hesitate to share your location and let us know whether you are tending a small balcony pot in the heart of a city or managing a massive field out in the countryside. In our very next video, we are going to explore a mind-blowing way to use ordinary kitchen spices to protect your young seedlings from unexpected pest attacks. So make sure your notifications are turned on, because you will